Introduce Joe.
Joe, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here and help Joe kick this campaign off. I'm Tom Rust. I'm a member of the House of Delegates and almost sat beside Joe for 12 years. We're one seat removed, but in many, many ways, Delegate May was my mentor. We're both engineers. We bring, I think, something to the General Assembly that a lot of folks don't bring, and that is a scientific engineering approach to issues. Joe has been a real leader in the House of Delegates. I don't have to tell you the things he's done on transportation, on science and technology. He is clearly our leader in science and technology in the House of Delegates. But the thing that I admire most about Joe is not only does he understand the issues, he studies them, he understands the budget, he's on appropriations, but he does the right thing. Sometimes we'll be sitting there when we're getting ready to vote on something, and he will say to me, in essence, if I vote A, that's the political right decision. But if I vote B, that's the right decision for Virginia, and it's the right decision for the district. And Joe takes position B. He takes the tough votes, the votes that cause probably some political heartache, but they're the right thing for Virginia. And that's what I admire most about Joe May. So it gives me a great deal of pleasure and honor to introduce to you, and everybody here of course knows him, my good friend, a leader in the House of Delegates, and a person who will be a leader in the Senate of Virginia, my good friend, Delegate Joe May.
Thank you very much, Tom. I certainly appreciate that. And I'm going to go ahead and read my remarks because I'd like to say what I intended to say, not what I said. So I'm sure many of you can attest I'm not a particularly skilled politician or public speaker, but I can assure you that I've done my best to be a good public servant. Recently, as I was pondering how I might best continue to be of service to the Commonwealth of Virginia, I couldn't help but reflect on a note I received in July from former U.S. Senator Harry F. Byrd, Jr., and it said very simply, "My dear Joe, I was very disappointed by the outcome of your election. I liked the way you represented me in Richmond. I wish you the very best in your future activity. Very truly yours, Harry." And I must tell you that Senator Byrd's letter was an inspiration for me. He who served the state of Virginia for combined 36 years in public office, always putting Virginia first and always putting Virginia above partisan politics. Many people have come to me over the last months urging me to seek out a path to continue to serve Virginia. To a person, they believe a conservative who is willing to put Virginia first and cut through gridlock to achieve results for the people of the Commonwealth is needed in a time when politics seems to be increasingly held hostage to partisan politics, both in Washington and Virginia. I just happen to agree with them. I'd like to say that I spoke, by the way, with Mark Obenchain over the weekend, and he expects to contest the outcome of the Attorney General election. Mark is a friend whom I've supported, and I wished him the very best. This is almost a however. However, today I wish to announce my candidacy for the Republican nomination in the special election to be held to fill the potential vacancy for the 33rd State Senate District. The Republican Party is expected to hold a nominating process in the coming weeks, and I intend to file the necessary documents to run. I've served the public in various positions in Northern Virginia for a number of years, including 10 terms in the House of Delegates. During this period, I've used many of the same skills in providing good, sound public service that I used to become a productive inventor, capable engineer, and successful businessman and technologist. Both the Republican Party and the special election will present a large contrast in styles and philosophies. Some of the candidates' first some candidates' first objectives is to serve partisan interests. Our nation has had enough of the partisan gridlock in Washington, and certainly doesn't need any more in Richmond. I'm the one conservative in the race who can work within the party as well as cut through the gridlock to deliver real results for the Commonwealth. If elected, I plan to continue emphasizing growing and maintaining Virginia's robust economy. And by the way, we are very fortunate compared to the other states. That economy is particularly dependent on adequate transportation and good education, especially technology education or STEM. I've always tried to bring innovative solutions to Virginia, including the Rural Rustic Roads policy, which saved hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars, quiet pavement to replace ugly and expensive sound walls, and in getting commercial space launches, which is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, conducted at Wallops Island. If elected, I plan to work towards reduced congestion and lower tolls through innovation on the Dulles Toll Road and the Dulles Greenway. My wife Bobby and I have grown our business, EIT in Sterling, over the past 37 years. Bobby, are you up there?
Here she is.
Oh. The lobby was Bobby's design, by the way. That business now employs over 200 Virginians in the heart of the 33rd Senate District. We've been here longer than the 33rd Senate District has been here. I had the distinct honor of being named the Loudoun Citizen of the Year in 2013 by Loudoun Times-Mirror. 2 delegates who represent portions of the 33rd Senate District were quoted in the article, and I will read their kind comments. May embodies what people look for in an elected official, Delegate Randy Minshew says. At a time when we see too much diverse partisanship and incivility, May's career shows us that there is still room for Virginia gentlemen in politics. Indeed, May is a statesman in the truest form, says Delegate Tom Russ, the gentleman standing on my left, one who cares only about serving his constituents and the Commonwealth. It doesn't matter who gets the credit, Russ says. May just wants to solve problems. I want to thank you all for being here. It's always been my pleasure to meet with you. It has been my great honor and privilege to serve our great Commonwealth, and I ask the people of the 33rd Senate District to allow me to continue to do so. Thank you. Okay, happy to take any questions if there are any. If you want to know who my hairdresser is, Tom and I go to the same hairdresser.
I already have your bumper sticker on my car, Joe.
Stanley, how are you? Good to see you. Yep, good. Yes, sir? Gosh, the guys I see over here at the left in Engineering Murderers Row almost always have questions. Not usually the political variety. This is not going to be an easy race, and I didn't enter into it easily or thinking that it was going to be any walk in the park. It is not. I need every good citizen who believes that I have every reason to be there to turn out and support me, and I'll ask every last one of you here to do so. Yes?
If you live in the district.
No, even if you don't live in the district, we'll take all the kind words we can get. I admit that this is one of those amorphous situations in which you're not exactly sure what the ground rules are because they're evolving as we go. But one thing is for sure, we're going to be sending a replacement for Mark Herring to the state Senate, and I wish to be that person. So, all right, if there...
Is this
yes,
the
Chris?
district? Sterling, the district?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It runs Leesburg, Sterling, Hardin.
Okay.
Believe me, we're providing maps for anybody who wants to know, and just in case you aren't, we'll tell you anyway. So.
When's the election?
It's still to be determined. There's going to be a Republican firehouse primary, and then the special election probably won't be set till the beginning of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not based on the county, it's based on the city, like Herndon, right? You mentioned Herndon.
It's just a line that's drawn during redistricting. So
Yeah. There are a couple people I'd like to recognize. First of all, my wife Bobby, who, by the way, designed the lobby here, and we like that. Have liked it for a long time because we've been here for a long time. Nancy Duke, my legislative aide for 20 years. She's getting her medal shortly. Of course, John's been with me before. Tom and I served together in the have served together in the House for 12 years, and he succeeds me as chairman of the Transportation Committee, and I absolutely couldn't be happier with that. I leave the Transportation Committee in good hands, Tom.
Thank you.
Let's see, how many people have I left out? Because invariably I do. Stanley Hawkins, my very long-term friend and jewelry consultant. So, alrighty, well look, I've interrupted everyone's day, but I want to thank all of you for turning out, and believe me, we'll be back to you when it comes that time. Thank you.